Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of The Game Changer, of course on Spreaker.com as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, one and only YouTube as well as on the SoundCloud. Guys, this time I'm going to be talking a little bit about a different kind of person. Now usually I talk about professional wrestling and I really like to keep it in that, but I'm also really fond of things like comics and movies, as a lot of you know, for a lot of my other podcasts, and a lot of times I like to do these top lists, and what these means, top lists, L-I-S-T-S, anyway, so basically, I've been wanting to do this for quite a while now, and I haven't really had the chance to do it until now. I finally have gotten the chance to do this, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of a top list devoted to one man and one man only. The one and only Bryan Zane. Ladies and gentlemen, those were the two theme songs of the Wrestling with Regret YouTube channel. Hopefully, Bryan Zane, you don't mind that I use them just for this particular podcast. Guys, Bryan Zane is quite possibly one of the most underrated people in professional wrestling YouTube. Honestly, in quite a bit of wrestling, actually. This is a guy who literally has gone out there and really created some of the best content that I've seen on YouTube. Whether it's talking about movies, whether it's doing interviews with random people such as Matt Hardy or some other people such as Jim Cornette. I think we're still kind of debating whether or not that, his father-in-law, Jim Cornette. I'm sorry. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a horse apiece, really. So I just thought that it would be kind of cool to actually talk a little bit, not only about Bryan Zane, but also give you guys my top videos of the Wrestling with Regret radio. And since Mr. Bryan Zane likes to keep it at a relatively interesting number, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give you guys my top 8 favorite Wrestling with Regret videos. Starting off at number 8, we have the Rusev Titantron. So this was just kind of a little bit of an edit that he did from what I saw. He basically took the Rusev Titantron, he added a little bit of Mark Merrill's theme music to it. All honesty, it's kind of nice, and it's one of those things that I think really should happen. Rusev should get a revamp on his theme music. He's had the same theme song for quite a while now, so why not change it into something different? And honestly, the way that he did it, I'd be cool with it. I'd be cool with a Mark Merrill theme song, or at least something that's a little more heavy and rockish or something like that. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, yes, we get it. He's foreign, but let's change the music up just a little bit. At number 7, we've got the gaming live streams. Okay, so this is one of the few times where I'm actually going to cheat a little bit. Bryan Zane actually does these gaming live streams every now and then where he plays a video game, whether it's a classic video game, a modern day video game, but he also does it on YouTube Live, so he gets the chance to interact with some of the people that watch his videos. So if you have questions for him, if you ever wanted to maybe get a little shout out, say, hey, how's it going, or something like that, or even maybe say, hey, this is how you beat this guy in this level, or this is how you beat this wrestler in this game. It's kind of really one of those things that I come to really enjoy, because that definitely shows that he cares about his fans and that he actually does want to hear what the fans have to say. And that's really cool, because a lot of people who do podcasts and do YouTube videos, yeah, they'll quote unquote listen to the fans, but they don't really actually, pay attention. And I think that Wrestling with Regret, my apologies, does a fantastic job of doing that. Number 6, wrestling pay-per-view reviews. Again, I'm cheating. I don't care. It's my list. Every single one of these pay-per-view reviews are really well done, because he does classic pay-per-views. He does the pay-per-views that happens nowadays. He goes into like WWE. He also does Impact Wrestling. He does New Japan. He does these videos in a way that is very well done, because it gives you a really good detail on what happened at the events, some of the highlights, as well as he does this grading system at the very end. Now, how he rates the matches is that he does go on a 4-star level. Some matches could be, great. They could be fantastic. They could be 4 stars. They could be a little bit above average, like a 2.5 star. Some could be rough, and they could have a 0. They could have a 1 star, and then there's a rare time where it's just absolutely horrible, and they get a 0-star rating. And I believe that Brian has only done about, I want to say 2 or 3 matches that have been 0 stars. I remember watching a couple of these pay-per-view reviews and thinking, wow, that's the first time I've ever seen a 0. That's bad. Well, let's just be thankful that he doesn't, have to review, Jenna versus Sharmell. Oh God, there's not a low enough rating for that match. My brain still burns from that. Number 5, Scott Steiner in WWE. This is one of his really well done videos, because he actually takes a wrestler and he basically talks about, okay, this is basically their career in WWE in a nutshell. And this was honestly one of those videos that I come to enjoy. He definitely talks a lot about, Goldberg, or he talks about DDP, he talks about the NWO, but the Scott Steiner one is one that just stands out the most because of the fact that he mentions that Scott Steiner really didn't do anything. Nothing really too noteworthy, except for his debut, which was awesome. But then he had a bad feud with Triple H, and then he did this weird thing with Test, and then after that, he just kind of fell off the face of the earth until he showed up in TNA Impact. And it's just really cool, the points that he brings up, as well as the major point that Scott Steiner is not really a babyface kind of guy. And honestly, guys, if you want to paint me a liar, go check out his video and just try. Just try to paint me as a liar. You will definitely see why he's better off as a heel than as a babyface. At number 4, we have Muhammad Hassan. So this was one of his first videos that he really brought out onto the YouTube scene, and one of the first things he addressed was the whole Muhammad Hassan situation. Now, from my perspective, I honestly thought the Muhammad Hassan character was honestly a pretty good character. For the most part, it did get a lot of heat. He definitely was just always putting people down. It's just one of those characters that really just worked with WWE. The problem was that under so many circumstances, they had to basically kill that character off. But honestly, he wasn't horrible in the ring. He definitely made for some really, good rivalries, in my opinion. He had a pretty good rivalry with Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit. He was doing a really good feud with The Undertaker. But like I said, everything that happened just kind of fell into place, and then he kind of fell off the face of the earth. I mean, they had a real-life situation that unfortunately caused the character to be written off, as well as literally killed off. I mean, my God, if you want to see a pure example of that, you have to go watch, I believe it was the Great American Bash 2005. Yeah, it was Great American Bash 2005. That'll basically sum that up in a nutshell. But it was one of those things where you saw this video and you definitely saw that this guy was onto something, and it would only escalate from there. Which brings me to number 3, the Heroes of Wrestling event with Adam Blampied. Now, Adam Blampied and Bryan Zane have definitely done quite a few different crossovers as well as videos. They did an Invasion one where Bryan Zane and Grimm invaded What Culture. That was really good. That was really funny. Adam has showed up quite a few times, including reviewing Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg in it. But this was the one that really stood out to me the most, because it is one of those matches and events where it just, it really showcases both of them as commentators. It really shows them as creators, but it also really shows them as wrestling fans. And that's the main thing that really just stands out, is the fact that they create something for wrestling fans, and they create something that either people are going to love or people are going to hate, or they're going to talk about something that is diabolically insane that they even created that, and that being the Heroes of Wrestling event, because wow, that was a bit of a dumpster fire, wasn't it? Not to mention the fact that it also features a special appearance by the one and only James Mitchell. A really good video. Definitely go check it out, you guys. It is fun, but it is also very, very, very good. Number 2, the WCW title in 2000. Let's face it, WCW in 2000 literally just bit the big one. It sucked, it was horrible, and there was no way that you could possibly say that it was, it couldn't have been somewhat better than with this video. This was one of those videos that I watch and I see and I feel the pain that WCW went through in that year, because you had the battles with, Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff. You had the powers that be that always wanted to do creative things and be like, no, we want to go this direction. No, we want to go this direction. We want to go this direction. Because reasons. And oh my gosh, I mean, the great thing about this is that Bryan Zane actually took the vacant joke that they made, especially that a lot of people would love to see get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they created that, he created that vacant deal into a character, and that character showed up quite a bit during this video. I mean, I think, what was it, like almost 20 some odd times that WCW title changed hands in that year. That's saying a lot. That, oh boy, that was a rough year. If it wasn't 20 reigns, it felt like 20 reigns, because, my God, just, no. Let's not even go back to that. I mean, at least at WWE, they had something good, right? Yeah, of course, they had Kurt Angle kissing Stephanie McMahon, and they had that love triangle, and oh, we figured out who ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, yeah, that was really compelling content. Wow. So before I get into my number 1 favorite video of Wrestling with Regret, I thought I could mention a few honorable mentions. Of course, you got to talk about his top list. Now, of course, when I say that, I'm talking about his top 8 lists that he likes to do, whether it's talking about theme musics, finishers, wrestlers, memorable and yet so horrible moments where somebody did not know how to cut a promo. All of these top lists are very, very well done. They're very detailed, and they're just absolutely created in a way to show not only the fact that we have some of the best stuff in wrestling, but also some of the worst things in wrestling. Of course, we also have to talk about his movie reviews. Yes, Bryan Zane does a lot of movie-type reviews. He's done a lot of wrestling-related movie reviews, and it's really cool to see. I mean, you have Santa's Helper, The Wrestler, you have The Chaperone, you have all the Marine movies, basically, and then we have 12 Round. Oh, boy, wow. I'm honestly hoping that Fighting With My Family is one of the first positive-filled videos that Bryan Zane has, because, let's face it, a lot of these movies can be horrible. I mean, do I need to say any more than Ready to Rumble? No, I didn't think I needed to, so you're welcome. Alright, so let's get on to my number 1 favorite video of Wrestling with Regret is How to Enjoy Independent Wrestling. So this is kind of one of those videos that is a little bit personally biased in my opinion, because of the fact that I do enjoy independent wrestling, but it's one of those videos that I absolutely love, because he basically spells it out for you. He spells it out, the do's and the don'ts of independent wrestling. It's not going to be the same thing as WWE or WCW or ECW or TNA or ROH or anything like that. You just go in there with either very minuscule to no expectations, and then you go in and have a fun time. And that's the main thing. It's always good to have fun when you go on these wrestling events. So that's really kind of the fun thing about it, is the fact that he creates some really good lists for this to make the independent wrestling scene fun. And it is fun. You get to not only interact with some of the wrestlers, they get to interact with you back. You actually feel like you're more involved with the show than you would with a major promotion, because they have to do what's best for business for them instead of what's best for business for the fans. That's really how it goes. So guys, that has been my top 8 favorite Wrestling with Regret videos on YouTube. Definitely go check them out. Also be sure to follow him on his Twitter page. Be sure to give him a like on Facebook. Maybe even donate a bit on Patreon, as well as buy his t-shirts, guys. I've been Nate the Effing Great. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye. By the way, I have no regrets. I just had to get that out there.